What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with Nvda and Tesla, break down some very important factors involving the share prices, which you should be watching for as time progresses, as we have very important stuff coming out. We have the shareholder meeting for Tesla, not to mention Nvidia's stock split. So I'm going to break down how all of these things could end up affecting the share prices. But before I break into the devil's information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am personally not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull and deposit $500, you're guaranteed 20 free stocks, and the offer ends in just about 9 days from now. Anyways, when it comes to Nvidia, I just wanted to mention that Nvidia is on a very, very strong uptrend, and it loves to do this thing where it likes to run really hard. So we're going to start all the way back here in May. Actually, we could go even further back. So since this run really started back around like mid-April, it runs, dips a little bit, starts to run, dips a little bit, and it starts these massive, massive pushes. So notice how we have this very, very vertical run. We went from this 816 area all the way up to about 926. Then we dipped a little bit. Then we continued with the next leg up, continued down a little bit. Then we went higher, came down, went higher, came down. And the next move could be higher if we end up holding our 20 EMA. But there's going to be another complication that's coming out, and that's going to be NVIDIA's stock split. So if you don't know what that is, basically, let's just say that you own currently one NVIDIA share for $1,200, right? The 10-for-1 stock split basically means that they're going to do a change right here. Now, think about what the issue is for Nvidia, for lots of retail investors, for lots of investors out there, and that is it's very, very high. It's $1,200 just for one share, and that's very expensive compared to like Tesla, which is at $177 a share, compared to like Microsoft and Google and the others, which are in the hundreds. So why is that important? Well, they want to do a stock split to incentivize a lot more growth, a lot more buying, and they want the share price to be lower so that more people are willing to like step in. So with that happening, your one $1,200 share is going to split into 10 shares. Okay, so instead of having one share, you're going to have 10, and they're each going to be worth $120 instead. So that's a 10-for-1 stock split, right? Once again, you have one share worth 1,200, it's going to turn into 10 shares worth $120 each. That doesn't change the valuation of the company or anything like that. It doesn't change the market cap. It just changes the perceived value of it and the amount of outstanding shares. That's all that's going to change. There's going to be 10 times more outstanding shares for Nvidia, and each share is going to be worth 10 times less. So by doing this, what happens historically is evidence has found that generally stocks do end up liking to run immediately after stock split announcements. They also like to run and outperform the market after they do their stock split. There is some evidence that suggests that, not a guarantee though, because there are other factors. Now, in my video, I mentioned to everyone that Nvidia could have seen a little dip coming. And as you can see, we did actually dip a bit on Nvidia over the last few days. We went from about 1250 a share yesterday. Now we're back down to 1200. So the dip did end up coming. But the question is, will we lose 1180 and dip down to like the 1160 range, close to this breakout area before it tries to bounce again, or will we bounce from here? This depends on if we could hold our 20 EMA, this 1180 area. Now this may be adjusted depending on the stock splits, but if we hold our key support, there's a very, very good chance it could actually continue higher and continue to outperform the markets. So I presume that if there is a dip in the morning, what if like we open, we see a little dip on Nvidia, they start grabbing liquidity, and then it just gets a big bounce and it just continues anyways. That's another strong possibility. Excuse me. Nvidia also likes to hold its 50 EMA. It's been holding, so it's on a very, very strong uptrend. There's no sign of it downtrending yet. So I still think the move could push this upwards even more. It still could push higher. But we're going to see if there's a little dip first towards our EMA. It's 1180 area, which is going to translate to like 118 a share, maybe a little bit lower than that. Could we get to 116? It's possible, right? It is possible we actually dip a little bit like that. That's going to translate to about 1160. That's like a very, very small drop, a $4 drop on Nvidia. Maybe it drops a little bit after the stock split, fills its gap, and then tries to bounce. I see that as a very, very strong possibility. But moving forward, it could still outperform the market and continue to grow. So maybe when we open, we get like a quick little dip and then a bounce, and then Nvidia starts pushing. There's a very, very good chance it's going to outperform the market thanks to the stock split, and we're going to continue to push towards all-time highs. So I don't think it's done just yet. So with the stock split happening, it's gonna happen, by the way, on Monday. So as soon as Monday, Nvidia has its stock split coming out, that's going to be very, very important. I personally think that maybe much of this is kind of like priced in a bit and kind of dips a little bit before it tries to bounce higher and starts to break out. I think that we could see something very interesting and very similar to that. Now we have another big one. That's going to be Tesla. Tesla is in a very, very critical place because I just wanted to call out that when you pull out the daily time frame on Tesla, things are very, very interesting. Because when you zoom out like this, look at what Tesla's been doing for a very, very long time. All right, it's been dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping. Now, please know, guys, that we have the stockholder meeting on Thursday, June 13th, 2024, and this is going to be massive. Shareholders are going to be voting on whether or not Elon Musk's pay package, which is estimated to be valued between $46 and $56 billion, should be approved or not. Now, just know that this was already approved back in 2018, but it was struck down by the Delaware courts. So, excuse me, by moving their headquarters, Tesla could once again try to continue to fight it, and now shareholders are deciding if they want to improve this. In my personal opinion, Musk has been working very hard. He is not getting paid officially by Tesla. If you kind of look at it, he doesn't have an official salary, and he's just getting paid based off his how much he owns in the company. It's like his main way of kind of like holding his wealth. So from the way I see it, with him getting paid through like being able to like exercise options and such the way he wants it to be, he was already agreed upon. This was already agreed upon that he would get this pay package because as long as Tesla had its high valuation, and Tesla still has a high valuation, it's not a baby of a company. It just dipped a bit relative to before, but he ended up helping Tesla run like crazy during the 2020 to 2021 period. Even going into 2022, Tesla ran quite a bit. So I want to make it very clear that it's a lot more advantageous for Tesla investors to vote yes. And that's because what other shares have mentioned is that if Tesla were to vote no, if the shareholders vote no to Tesla's pay package, they're going to have to reforge a new one. And that could cost between 22.7 to $25 billion just to do that with all the accounting fees. So it's not easy to come up with these pay packages. There's a lot of accounting that has to be done in the process. So why spend the money again to reforge when we can just get it done with, give Elon Musk the money he owns and such. And you also have to remember that other Tesla share members have said that if we don't do the pay package, if Musk is voted, if shareholders vote against it, Musk could leave Tesla too. And it's not really worth the risk. Why should we keep Elon Musk? Because he is a great team builder. He's very good at finding great people and working together as a team. He has a great vision, and his goals and ambitions have been huge for the company moving forward. Are there hardships for the short term? Yes. The long term is still bright with the robotaxi coming out. We have a big announcement date coming out on August 8th. Can't wait to see what they say. And I think that his work is going to be key because Tesla is going to become excuse me, it's going to become a multi-trillion-dollar company. So the growth is going to be staggering. Trillions are going to be added to the market cap, and I think the growth is going to be worth it. He's going to help so many people become rich, plain and simple. Tesla has all these gaps to fill to the upside. It's going to fill these gaps eventually. But what I want to say is that it's been dropping and dropping and dropping like crazy. It was at 300 back in July. It's been downtrending since last year, downtrending, 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 because of the fact that it kind of priced in the fact that EV sales are slowing. So there's only so much lower it could go. Regardless if we do come down to fill these gaps, I'm not too worried about that. I don't even think it's going to happen for the short term. We don't really have a catalyst for that to happen. I think there's a very good chance that Tesla could see a big bounce and push into the 200s as long as we break past 180. I think there's a very good chance of that happening. I see a very, very strong looking inverse head and shoulders like structure. I see lots of bullish potential in this. I think there's a good chance the 200 plus area is going to be a potential target. I think that because not only is there an inverse head and shoulders, but because the majority of shareholders, I presume, are most likely going to vote yes to Elon Musk. I think that next week is when we're going to get a big reaction. But for that to happen, we have to wait and see where we break on this range. Now, for the shorter term, there is this kind of like head and shoulders that's like right here. Sorry about that. So could we dip a little first and then get the big break, or do we break from here? I'll just have to wait and see. I think what's going to happen is we're going to run to 200, but we'll see if we get one little dip down to like 168 first and then run to 200, or if we just run from here. But I do anticipate that there's going to be a break next week in Tesla. I think that we're going to try to break 180 if we are bullish, or the move to the downside comes first before that. I presume it's going to be the upside. I think it's time for Tesla to run and get a big bounce. It's been a long time. I mean, if you look at the excuse me, if you look at the share price, it's been falling like a rock for the entire year, guys. For 11 straight months, it's been downtrending, 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 downtrending. it's been happening. And then this is the first time Tesla actually broke this structure right here. This actually happened in the end of April before it started consolidating. So this could be a signal we're going to be looking for some bullish momentum. The daily is also turning on the PPO, and we're holding very, very well. So we're consolidating and holding. Generally, with this inverse head and shoulders, this could be a reversal structure. Tesla wants to start getting a little rebound into the 200s, and there's a very good chance that that could be happening for the summer. Another big factor is that historically Tesla's green 78% of the time in June. So that does just, add some more conviction for me that it's going to run more. So with that being said, Nvidia, I'll see if we get a little dip first before we try to continue higher. The chart is still very bullish, but we'll see how things go. The dip could be very small. Once we do the stock split, it may drop a few dollars before it continues higher, but the trend is still very bullish on Nvidia. So we'll see if it gets a little dip first before it continues higher. The stock split could still lead Nvidia to outperforming the markets. We'll see if there's a little dip first before it continues higher. And then for Tesla, in my personal opinion, the technicals are starting to favor the bulls a little bit more. It's actually trying to hold up, and we have a nice inverse head and shoulders like structure that's developing on the bigger time frames. Even if we get a little dip to 168 or so, I still see a big bounce coming, and I favor the 200 price target is going to be the bigger move for Tesla. So I think that's more probable. Tesla's been consolidating for long enough, and the time is finally coming for a big break. So I'm hoping that the time has come. I'm hoping that the shareholder meeting is the catalyst to get this thing moving. We've been stuck in this range for an entire month, essentially. So the time has come for Tesla to break out and get out of this tight range it's been stuck in and see a big move finally. We have these gaps to fill above. I'd love to see Tesla try to push. And with this inverse head and shoulders like structure, that just adds to more conviction. So we'll see how things go, guys. Next week is going to be massive for the markets. We have the FOMC meeting. We have CPI, PPI data all coming out next week. So I can't wait to see what the market's going to do. But just know that Nvda is going to be a big one to be watching for on Monday. Tesla's going to be a big one to be watching for approaching its shareholder meeting. And I can't wait to see what else we end up seeing. All right. So thank you for listening. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. And I'll see you guys very soon on the next one. I'll be giving you guys a very in-depth update on the markets tomorrow. So until then, take care, guys, and peace out.